Hey everyone, Reviewinstein here. In this video, I'll be reviewing the G.91 R, a premium plane that currently sits in both the German and Italian air tech trees at 8.7 BR in RB and sits at rank 5. This plane is somewhat unique, although not entirely, in that it is the same exact plane with the same performance and weapons in both the German and Italian tech trees. Thus, this review will work for both the German and Italian offerings. It is also occasionally on sale as a pack vehicle for Germany, as well as for Golden Eagles, which is also a unique feature of this plane. That said, I'll be going over a ton about the R4, including its stats, how it plays, its strengths and weaknesses. I'll give it some ratings based on how its performance is in-game, and then I'll give my final recommendation for if this plane is worth purchasing or not. That said, please like, comment, and especially subscribe, and I love you forever. Either way, let's get into the review. To start, I'll place its stats here on the left side of the screen. Key stats to view are its BR, rate of climb, and armament, including up to 4 Nord AGMs or AIM-9Bs, as well as 4 manually guided Nord air-to-air missiles. Now for how it plays. Well, it plays like a mishmash of other fighters. It's got the armament of a Sabre, although with 2 fewer machine guns. It's got the multi-role capabilities of a Sea Vixen, and it's got a level of agility somewhere between an early Sabre and a MiG-15. In short, it's got a lot of what you want in a fighter and very little of what you don't want. It climbs well, it accelerates well, has a great arsenal of weaponry, whether you're looking at it for air-to-air, close air support, and offers manually guided options for both. For most people though, you will find strength in its incredibly powerful 4 AIM-9B armament that it carries for air-to-air engagements, as at this BR, they can be easily used to shoot down both enemy players, of whom will almost always lack countermeasures at this BR, and bots. This makes it so that once you're done shooting down a player or two, and the last few enemies are either missing or are too far away, you can break away from the fight and earn 2 fairly easy air-to-air kills against bots, assuring that you always do fairly well in a match. Basically, this plane can dogfight very well, though it does have somewhat poor energy retention, meaning that it is best coming into the battle just behind the first line of planes on your team. Once you get to the furball, the G.91 R should easily be at a good altitude, such as between 2,500 meters and 4,000 plus meters, or really whatever you're comfortable with. At this point, you can dive, make a few passes at planes with your plentiful MG ammo, and on occasion, launch a missile at an enemy that will be around 1.5 to 2.5 kilometers away. A large portion of the time, especially in the down tier, players won't even notice a missile following them, and will die, even though it is a fairly poor AIM-9B missile. Alternatively, you can use the AA-20 Nord manually guided air-to-air missiles, as they can be very effective, but these are best used in the hands of people who are actually good at using them. Unfortunately, I am not one. Either way, following this strategy, especially with the occasional landing at base to reload, should net you an easy few kills per match, as the G.91 R, as previously mentioned, can and will turn with most planes, and can fairly easily keep up in terms of speed and acceleration as well. This is just a great overall plane for air RB, with its only somewhat negative point being the mediocre stopping power of its 4 HMGs and somewhat weak wings. For ground RB, this plane is totally different. You may notice at top tier that, even through high BRs such as 10.0 plus BR, you are getting smacked by G.91 R4s. There's a good reason for this, as AS-20 Nord AGMs, of which when in the right hands can be guided to easy kills against well-armored targets from a range of up to 8 kilometers. Unfortunately, I am not good, so you'll have to bear through this footage of me looking stupid with the Nords. My poor skill with them aside, they are absolute killers in close air support and can easily turn the tide of battle when in the hands of a skilled player, making the G.91 R incredibly devastating in CAS. It is unique in this role, as it can do this at a relatively low BR, giving you the ability to, as well with its air-to-air missiles, hit unsuspecting and unprepared enemies with advanced weaponry. More than almost every bomber, fighter, strike fighter, and almost any other type of plane at this BR, the G.91 R can be absolutely dominant in the right hands in close air support. And now finally for its strengths and weaknesses, and I'll start off with its strengths. First, it has good speed, acceleration, and rate of climb for its BR. Put simply, it performs very well. Secondly, it has decent to good maneuverability. Third, it has the ability to carry 4 guided Nord ATGMs, and if you want, air-to-air missiles. They are both very effective in the right hands, though of course I am poor with both. Fourth, it can carry bombs, which is nice if you're not good with manually guided ordnance, even if it can only carry up to 500-pound bombs. Fifth, you can carry up to 4 guided AIM-9B missiles. which at this BR is excellent. Some premium planes such as the F-86 F-40 JASDF and the MiG-17 AS are higher BR than this and can carry fewer missiles. These are great for taking out both bot planes and low energy enemy fighters. For its 6th strength, though it only has 50 cals, it still has a very healthy 1200 rounds of ammo in total. 7th, it is fairly small, making it a somewhat difficult target to hit both with guns and for some missiles. And finally, it has premium RP and SL bonuses. And now for the weaknesses. While some might not consider this to be a weakness, it only has up to 4 50 cals, with some loadouts dropping that down to just 2 50 cals, which at that point is definitely a weakness. Secondly, while not very weak, the wings are not foolproof and you must watch your turns around 10 Gs or more, as they will break, especially when carrying ordnance. For its 3rd weakness, again, not so much of a weakness, especially around this BR, but it does lack a radar. 4th, it has no countermeasures, though this really isn't too big of a deal, especially if it doesn't see an increase in BR. 5th, using some ground ordnance loadouts, such as using the Nords, will limit you to only 2 50 cals, which is cutting an already somewhat mediocre armament down even lower. For a 6th weakness, if you're not good with manually guided anti-ground ordnance, you lose possibly the most effective weapon that this plane carries, especially in close air support. Next, it lacks a ballistic computer for use of its bombs and rockets, meaning that anyone not skilled with the Nords will have a difficult time being truly effective in close air support. And finally, it has mediocre, though not absolutely terrible, energy retention. And now let's get into its ratings. For dogfighting, I give the G.91 R an 8 out of 10. As stated earlier, this plane does pretty much everything well and very few things poorly. It can turn, climb, accelerate, and more, almost with every other plane that it'll face, meaning that a skilled pilot will have a chance in nearly every fight that they'll get in with the R4. The only problems are that it has a poor HMG armament, mediocre energy retention, and somewhat weak wings that are prone to braking at high Gs. For close air support, I have to give this plane another 8 out of 10. While it has a poor bomb loadout and is not beginner friendly with its Nords being manually guided and tricky to use at first, the skill ceiling is ridiculously high, meaning that the best players will very easily walk away with 3 or 4 kills per full load of the 4 Nord HGM loadout. The only real negatives of this plane in a CAS role are that it can only carry 2 MGs when using most loadouts, and has the ability to carry only up to 2 500-pound bombs or 38 Mighty Mouse rockets, both of which, while effective, can only do so much damage. Either way, the Nords are so good that, even despite these weaknesses, the R4 is still a top-notch ground attack plane at its BR, and even higher. For grinding, I have to give this plane another 8 out of 10. Time and time again, I found myself at the top or near the top of the leaderboard while using this plane, especially in Air RB, as that is more my forte. With the R4 over the course of 24 matches, I must have grinded out around 10 to 15 1.3 to 3.7 BR planes, which I felt was an excellent haul, especially considering my losses and matches in which I did poorly. In addition to the RP, you will easily earn tons of SL, especially with a premium account. Even considering my only 50% win rate with this plane in 28 matches, so I won 14 of my 28, though I have over a 2 to 1 kill death ratio with it, so I guess that means maybe my team wasn't as good, or maybe I'm just killing a lot of bots, I don't know. I earned around 737,000 Silver Lions and about 60,000 RP, and this is not considering the various awards that I also earned with this plane, such as First Strike or Thunderer or whatever the other rewards are. That, to me, is pretty darn good. In all, I almost can't believe it, but I have to give the G.91 R an 8 out of 10 overall, as it can do everything that you need for it to do, and it can do all of it well. This is the highest overall score that I've given thus far for any plane in War Thunder. So, do I recommend the G.91 R? Yes, I do wholeheartedly. Whether you play for Air RB or Ground RB or a mix, this plane can do it all, and it will do it better than almost every other plane out there at its BR. Whether you want the German or the Italian version, it does not matter, as it is literally the same exact plane, though I guess the German version has slightly better RP boosters, though that's not my point. The R has access to 4 AIM-9B missiles, 4 Nord anti-air or anti-ground missiles, and some dumb ordnance loadouts to boot, making this plane a menace to everyone that comes across it. The fact that this plane has access to 4 AIM-9Bs at its current 8.7 BR in RB, whereas a plane like the F-86 F-40 JASDF of which has similar, though somewhat better albeit, performance in only 2 AIM-9Bs, and itself sits at 9.3 BR in RB, is very telling about how powerful this premium G91 is. With the exception of maybe the A5C and maybe the F5C, there is not a single plane in War Thunder that I feel more comfortable with using in any way than I do with the G91 R4. This plane is absolutely brilliant, and even if it does go to 9.0 BR, it will still be incredibly worth it. For this and more, the G91 R4 has the Tankenstein seal of approval. That said, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the deal. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. I am interested to hear your thoughts about not only the review, but more so this plane, because I love it. I don't know anyone who doesn't love it, so I want to hear in the comments below. Either way, thank you again, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.